Hi and welcome to another episode of Celebrity Magazine TV. Coming up in this episode, we catch up with a lady who is, used to be an artist, then became a fashionista. Also, the other half of a famous DJ and a mum too. Find out who. So I'm here with Amanda O'Riordan. Thank you very much for coming in.
Pleasure.
Now the last time, well, I'm not going to say the last time, the first time I ever met you, you were singing at Eden in Ibiza.
I was.
And now you're a fashionista, fashion blogger.
Yes.
So how did you go from singing with a chart successful here to being a fashionista?
Well, I think it was quite a natural progression. I mean, first of all, getting older, you can't be on stage in tiny costumes forever unless you're Kylie Minogue. But yeah, so that was going back 20 years ago. And what I've done is, having loved fashion all my life, is just, and always been artistic, just transitioned from singing and making music, which I love, but that was then. And the natural progression was to move into fashion, and it's just an expression of who I am. Okay. And I love writing. I've spent my life reading fashion magazines, and I just wanted to project myself as a so-called fashionista. And obviously I'd made a name for myself, so I'd already kind of established myself there. And have lots of followers. Yeah. And it coincided with Facebook. Facebook had just taken off, if we go back to 2007. And people took interest, and I've been going for now nearly 9 years with the fashion blog. So
fantastic. Okay, now the one question that everyone's going to ask: do you get loads of free stuff from all the top designers?
Yes, I do. So this is the thing. You see, you don't get paid. You don't get paid a wage, but you do it because you love it. Mm-hmm. And yes, you do. So I get lots of, obviously, clothing, shoes, accessories, beauty products. So I mean, the house at home in London is full, and it's always stuff that I love. It's always from quirky independent designers. So I'm not saying that Gucci send me a bag and a suit every month, or Louis Vuitton purses or anything like that. It's always, I like to go for the small, independent, unknown designers.
Okay. So. And who would you say, because obviously it's a bit of a difficult year this year for fashion, given
terrible.
what's going on, but would you say that there's been a standout young designer or a standout sort of young new boutique that's maybe managed to stand out and succeed?
I wouldn't say designer, but definitely boutique. So it's a boutique in Essex, let's say leafy Essex, back in the UK, called Left Bank 6. Now what she does, it's owned by a girl called Nicole Iverson Hatch. She's very good at bringing the Balearic, so she's got that boho vibe in her own boutique. She's collected ideas from her travels, so she's always in Mallorca and Ibiza, and she's brought it back to the UK. Or she's bought collections that epitomise Spain and holiday wear, which is always similar to this kind of thing, and she sells it exclusively in her shop. And again, it coincides with social media. So she was a model herself at one time. Okay. She models everything, posts it on social media. I write about it as well, and her shop is just cleared out every time. Yeah. So Left Bank 6 would be, it's still going, because as you know, in 2020 fashion has just ground to a halt. Yeah. Nothing's happening. Everything's on standstill at the moment.
But you say that, but one thing that they're saying that I saw reported in the mainstream media was that the masks have now become to the forefront of a fashion statement, and a lot of the designer houses that used to concentrate on catwalks are now concentrating on masks.
Yeah. But just before I came out, I was reading Vogue actually, and it's the one fashion accessory, let's say, that we didn't want to embrace this year, but there is no getting away from it. I mean, the face mask is here to stay for a while, and we're not just talking, well, I personally don't think it's just this year. I think it will be next year, possibly even the year after. I think this could be a 3-year movement. So what do you do if there's something there that perhaps you were trying to ignore initially? It's become law. We all have to wear face masks back in the UK. I know obviously here, all the shops, you can take them off in restaurants obviously, but they have become part of your everyday outfit. So as usual, with anything you wear every day, there will always be a fashion designer somewhere that's going to customise and put their own stamp on that and sell it, mass produce it. Yeah. So what we're trying to do now is everybody wants to have their own personalised, quirky face mask. So there are lots and lots of designers doing it. So as I was talking to you earlier, you can find Gucci, Louis Vuitton, the very high-end designer face mask, or you can find these small independent quirky designers. And I've just been writing a piece about an up-and-coming designer. Her name's Annie Murray, based in the UK, and her face masks obviously are safe, because that's the number one priority here. They have to be safe. Yeah. But her designs are incredible. I mean, they range from, let's say, a picture of your cat, but it's quite funky, through to like chronic swear words, yes. Which, you know, if you want to make an impact when you're walking around and standing in the queue in Mercadona with this very graphic expression on the front there, why not? Yes. But that's what happens, you know, with any fashion accessory. It's got to be a standout piece that people notice and an expression of yourself. Yes. So it's going to be huge this year and next year.
And do you think it's going to be something where people are then going to start making that an integral part of the outfit, and the designers are as well?
100%. So you will, as I said, the designers, like even Liberty. So Liberty in the UK in London is well known for its floral prints. So Kate Moss, I just saw Kate Moss is in Ibiza at the moment. She's been seen wearing her Liberty face masks, goes with her kind of floral outfit. I'm very into star print, so I've just ordered from Annie a whole range of star print face masks, okay. One in every colour. I told you when I'm in London I love to wear black, so I've got some black face masks with white stars. I've got red coming, I've got pink, which will go with all my kind of Balearic outfits. So yes, and I really didn't want to embrace the face mask. Yeah. I started off with a surgical face mask that I could just dispose of, because I just thought this will come and go, but it's not going anywhere. So yeah. You will now see me wearing colour coordinated face masks.
Okay, and you said you're going to be writing about it. Can you tell us a little bit, for all those that don't know about your blog? Yeah. How do people follow you and get in contact?
So the blog is called Amanda Zips It Up. Initially, you'll find me on Facebook under Amanda O'Riordan, and then I've obviously got my own, I suppose, fan base page, which is Amanda Zips It Up. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, but the website, if you just go to www.amandazipsitup, or one word, .com, and you'll go straight through. Now, I regularly write, and I have done every Friday, so it's a weekly blog. It's a roundup of what's happening in the Balearics, in London. If I pop over to the States, what's happening over there. It's been difficult this summer. I've had to make it kind of fortnightly, sometimes monthly, because not much is happening. So if you can imagine, the designers are having to self-isolate. The factories in the Far East are closed. You know, it's production of fashion has slowed right down. Shops are only just reopening. Yeah. They're selling their stock from winter. They've got to get rid of all of that, and nothing new is coming through at the moment. Nothing's being produced. So we are. It's stale at the moment. But you know, I'm just trying to see what's going on, because there are other bits and pieces going on, and just incorporate that.
A positive out of a negative situation.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, what would your advice be? Because this may be a good time for anybody who's young, who's into fashion, who wants to be where you are now. So for somebody who is, say, like in their sort of anywhere from 12 to the teenage years, even up to, say, early 20s, what advice would you give them on how to get recognised, known in your... Because the fashion field is very hard. A lot of people don't understand it's a very hard field to break into.
It is.
It's very hard to be recognised. So what kind of do's and don'ts would you give?
It's a lot easier today, like in 2020, because we have social media, and that is your outlet. So if I think about when I was 15, we had nothing. You know, you would have to go to the London College of Fashion, you would have to produce an incredible collection of your own work, try and be recognised by, a high-end designer, get some famous models, use your connections, if you knew Kate Moss, for example, get her to wear a pair of your shoes or something. These days you don't have to do that. So, TikTok videos, if you've just created a range of t-shirts, if you're 15 and you've customised your own t-shirts, You could do a TikTok video and get out there and 25,000 people will see that. I use Facebook. I model my own bits and pieces. If social media is on our side, and you can use it wisely.
Okay, so if they want to do what you do, rather than, I don't mean make the fashion, but if they want to become a writer and a blogger, but they also want, like how you explained earlier, you've got the support from all those fashion people that do send you the things and do give you the information which keeps you on the cutting edge. How does somebody new break into that world?
It's difficult. You would have to, it takes time. I mean,
but any sort of tips?
I know you get onto Instagram.
It's impossible to give it out now.
Create some amazing images. I mean, images on Instagram people scroll through, it will capture somebody's imagination. And
on the writing front?
And then you just, again, that comes with practice. Read as much as possible. I mean, my fashion Bible is Grazia, Vogue, Elle. You've just got to read as much literature out there as possible. You know, if you want to kind of copy somebody's style in time that you will adapt you've got to create, I put my own personality out there, so I can be quite naughty in some of my stories. So I'm a bit rude, and I kind of touch on subjects which raise an eyebrow here and there, let's say. And that, if anything, was how I did break through, because I was stepping out of the box and not being really mundane and just talking about the same kind of fashion that you'll see in all of those magazines, just being a bit different. It just takes time, but start with an image. People will start recognising your name, and then just be different with your writing and just take risks, but not too many risks. You don't want to put people off. And if you've got anybody some journalist friends, you want to get some advice. I mean, Jules, my husband Jules, reads all of my stories because he's a great writer as well. And it's great to have somebody else have a look at what you're saying, because they can kind of give you a few ideas as well. Talk to your friends, but use social media wisely and practice as much as possible.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for coming in and spending time, and well done on answering all the questions.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. That's it for now. We're into the final part of the show, which is obviously the musical part of the show. And we're going to hand over to a lovely lady. Her name is NAER, also known as Laura Estrada.